And I believe we are live. Hello and good afternoon, and thank you very much for being patient. I know this was a little bit delayed, about 10 minutes delayed. Thank you for staying here with me. This was a very special event for me, and I wanted to present it very well. So I was spending a lot of time preparing for everything and making sure everything is good. So in this session, I will be presenting you a brand new product that our company has been working on. My company calls Inventive Work ENC. It's basically a company that I founded about 3 years ago, mostly to be able to do consultancy jobs and to be able to provide IT services. Later on, with the development of the AI, we decided to do also more of a products type um, show-offs, because we wanted to show the skills that we can provide for our clients. So we are really, this year our focus is to release a lot of different products just to show off our ability to build effective products and production ready products that can be used on the enterprise level. We are really bringing about 10 years of the industry experience to you, so that's something it's very unique, and we are really on target to hire our first person by end of this year. So hopefully we can get to that goal and more of that very soon. Um, so without that, I will be playing a very introduction video that we've been working on, just a little bit of a teaser that we provided. So I will be playing this teaser for you, and then we can get into a little bit of a slideshow and hopefully a QA if there is anyone available on the chat. We'll answer to that questions as well. But other than that, we are really happy to provide you with all the information today. Um, and I'm going to try to also provide you with a small demo at the end, really a technical demo, and we're going to get into that in a second. Um, so we're playing the demo for you. Awesome. Yeah, so absolutely. I mean, those were the very interesting um, slides that the video that we wanted to show you, and also just to mention that all those images were AI generated, so we didn't really spend too much time on the production. It was just a simple AI generated video, just to give you a teaser. But a couple of things that we mentioned on the that specific video was that first we show you a different infrastructure that a growing city, something that we're going to see in the future. We're going to see cities growing, infrastructure is growing, and at the same time the IT operations that run those infrastructures is also is growing very fast. And then on the second portion, that's something that has been touched me personally as well. It's the burden of the operations. So really the developers being really a fatigue, and being able to manage those operations for us is really important. Myself personally, I spent many hours on calls, responding to incidents, waking up in the middle of the night, trying to figure out what's happening. So it's really not a pleasant thing to do, and I think many people who've done it before and work in that operations every day, they understand the struggle of having to wake up in the morning in the middle of the night, trying to figure out what's exactly happening when a lot of people are lost connectivity or something like that. So without any ado, let's get into to understand what is exactly Seraph Guardian is. Um, I know we mentioned when we talked about it a little bit, but it was interesting to um, also go over it. So just to mention, what is a Seraph Guardian? So Seraph Guardian is really autonomous AI ops revolutionizing software operations. So we really believe that the future of the operations and IT operation is all going to be autonomous. So meaning that there's not going to be any DevOps person mostly managing infrastructure. It will be mostly automated through AI and AI advancements. And so this is why we want to go really get into that, because we really see the big pictures of how it's going to be, and we also see the growth in the market. And also personally, I've seen teams struggles with that every day. So that's something that we're really passionate about and we really want to tackle in. So Seraph Guardian is really an end-to-end AI ops product. So it's meant for you to get this, install it, or run it alongside of your infrastructure, and that guardian, that angel guardian, is going to be able to guard your infrastructure, understands your infrastructures, and make decisions based on that. Okay. And then talking about it, so that's what I was mentioning earlier, the growing burden of the modern operation, the manual alerts, management and root cause analysis that everyone has to do, the time consumption is very prone to human error. And also the alert maintenance. We all know that we all have different alerts that we set up as DevOps teams, and then over time those alerts they kind of go away, they become deprecated, or we need to update them, or we need to adjust them. So it's not something dynamic, and you have to constantly maintain that. And it's actually a hidden cost that most of the team don't realize it. They do realize setting up alerts, it's something positive, but they don't understand how fast and quickly those alerts becomes irrelevant, and you just end up with the alert fatigue, where you just get bunch of alerts, bunch of events that you cannot process and you cannot figure out what's exactly happening. So the Seraph Guardian is really the future of the autonomous operation. The Seraph Guardian is an autonomous agent, so we really mean it. It's really able to make decisions based on the logic that we explain it to it, and with the safeguards that we put around it. It can make decisions on its own, and it can do many things that we get into it in a bit. So it's really an AI agent that provides an end-to-end AI ops solution, automating issues detections. So first it detects the issues, then it root causes the issue, it analyzes it, and then takes action. And that's the important part, is that it really does take actions and provide you with a guide on how to take actions as well. So this empowers individual DevOps teams to focus more on innovation and building, and that's what we meant by end of the video. We really want you to focus on building product versus managing product and managing infrastructure, and then also to be able to spend time with your family, with your friends, and do hobbies that things that makes you excited in life. And that's something that we want to do instead of you spending times on computers and alerts and metrics. So how does really the Seraph work? So imagine, really think about it, about the analogy of the house. Let's say you have a house, you have a lot of smart sensors, there's a lot of things going on, and you figure out a pipe is not working, or something in your bathroom is not correctly, or the light is out, or something like that, and there is a central computer or a central person who manages all these things, maintenance of your house. So whenever a pipe breaks, as soon as it breaks, it detects it, and it takes essential actions, or it contacts the plumber or people who are needed in that situation to solve the problems. And then therefore you do not need to take any actions, you don't need to have any expertise in resolving pipes. You can mostly use that process to automate everything. And so the AI is going to be Seraph. Our product is going to be the one who's going to do that, who's going to manage this, who's going to orchestrate this, make sure the people who are stakeholders needs to be in the assigned, do code modifications, open tickets, things that such as that we're going to get into it in a bit as well. So really, that was just the overall of how the product would work in a modern city, in a modern house, in a modern infrastructure, or anything that you can put it and use it for. But let's get into a little bit more of a technical aspects of it. So the technical aspects of it, usually in your organizations, you have either infrastructure, you're managing a large infrastructure. Let's say you're managing infrastructure for a 5G network, or you're managing infrastructure for running accounting applications or processing banking transactions and such as that. So you either have infrastructure, you either have applications, or in some cases you even have edge devices, or you have IoT devices that are constantly generating events and logs and things such as that as well. And then so our goal is to for you to ship all these events, logs, traces, and then more importantly, any open telemetry data that you have, will be able to input it. And then so if you think about it as a Seraph, as this one single box, Seraph is going to be able to take this information, is going to be able to process it, and then through external access to different systems, to your code repository, to your ticketing system, to your Confluence page, to build a knowledge base and take decisions based on the knowledge base that is out. And then so the role of the DevOps admin is really going to be not going to be interacting directly with the infrastructure anymore. It's going to be really interacting with this AI agent. They have a UI where they're going to be able to access the Seraph interface to be able to set up agents, to be able to monitor the events, look at the live verbose or the data that Seraph is generating. So really the thinking part, how is the AI model is thinking. And then for some of us that really like to interact with the CLI, also to be able to integrate this later on with your CI/CD pipeline, or such as your code integration, you can use that CLI as well. So CLI is really the command line that you can allow and run commands to be able to interact with this agent as well. So our technology is built on mostly open source. We are using Helm chart and obviously the containerization technology, Docker, to build this. It's in a one content box, and it's really simple installation, and we're really proud of that, and we really want it to be something that you can take and install it anywhere and put it anywhere. That I'll get into that as well in a little bit. So something I mentioned earlier was that this is the context intelligence precision detection. So integrates with the Git repository, your own Git repository. Right now we support GitHub and we support GitLab. You're also capable of integrating with your ticketing system, Jira, and documentation platform Confluence to be able to build a knowledge base based on documentation. We are working on more integration to be able to build a better knowledge base based on your data, but we are capable of ingesting many different type of data that you have, and then so every time there's a code push, if there's something, our knowledge base is also gets updated. So there's a sync mechanism that's set up that constantly observes the code repository, and as soon as it detects that there is a change, it takes action to sync the knowledge base with what it has. So yeah, it's the context aware, but it's on the live data, and it's on a live basis. So as I mentioned earlier, that installation is really simple. It's really just a Helm chart that you can install on most of the infrastructure that you have. You can install it on premises infrastructure, on the cloud, on a hybrid way. You have different options to be able to install that piece of middleware that's going to be you're going to be able to manage it, or it can be managed by us. That I will provide some of the support models and some of the pricing things at the end. And we also have a very easy to use setup wizard. So we have a step-by-step UI and as well as a CLI step that allows you to set up your first agent without having too much knowledge of the integration. So you simply have to provide which model do you want to use, where do you want to exactly host it? Do you want to host it locally? Do you want it to be fully locally and things like that? So you have the step-by-step set it up. It's about 5 steps that you use, and that in that 5 steps you're going to be able to set up your agent on your infrastructure. You do not need to modify anything on your existing infrastructure. You do not need to do anything other than just either installing it on your infrastructure that you already have, or install it outside of your infrastructure and or alongside of your infrastructure or your applications. So it's a very lightweight agent that either allows a batch, so you can either send it a batch type of data, either as a text, either as a JSON or open telemetry data, or you can stream the logs. So you can actually use it to stream logs to different endpoints, and each agent basically is one single endpoint. And then you can have one agent that manages your, let's say, Kubernetes infrastructure, one agent that's managing all your applications, one agent that's managing all your databases. So you can have different type of agents, and you have different endpoints. Then you can push your data in, push your logs in, either stream it using those protocols, either TCP, HTTP, and gRPC, to be able to provide us with those data. And as soon as the Seraph gets this data, it analyzes them on the live basis, on either on a batch basis or on a stream basis, and it's very capable of managing multiple parallel processes at the same time, based on your plan, and that will detect all the issues and triggers the whole process of fixing the issue and managing the infrastructure. As I mentioned earlier, it integrates with any infrastructure, your application, your IoT devices. All of those are possible. And then there's a CLI and a UI for easy agent management and monitoring. So for your overall, we wanted it to be the first thing, and then a DevOps person opens up in the morning, the first software that they open it up, and they have a very good view of what's exactly going on over there in their entire infrastructure and cloud providers. Yeah, so this solution, you can either deploy it in any cloud, on your on-premises infrastructure, or even locally, which I'm going to show you in a bit. How I install it on my local machine, and how I'm running either I'm just making a postman call, just a local call, a local application, just to be able to show you a demo today. Let's talk about the exciting part, the AI model part. So what we do, we are model agnostic. So our solution, it's really you choose in your setup wizard which model do you want to use, and based on that you have to provide an API key. Obviously, if you go with the OpenAI, let's say, you have to provide us with the API key. It's gonna ask you in that process and things like that. But other than that, you can bring your own model, or just use our pre-paid model that we provide to you as well. You can do that as well. This has something that's provided with. If you don't want to go through the hassle of setting up your own model or bringing your own model, we do also provide our own way to do it without having you to set it up. And so usually when people are building LLMs, deploying LLMs now, they either use some sort of Azure AI instance or Amazon Bedrock to be able to run private instances of the AI models, and then we are able to integrate with those instances as well. We also able to integrate with direct API integration. So if you're really going on OpenAI public API, you want to use that one, we also support that one, although it's not recommended due to the performance issues and things that we observe, but we do have a recommended way of running it. And the third option, and the more exciting option, is if you choose to run it locally, complete locally, it will be able to run a locally hosted instance. So in that case, some of the supported models are like Llama 3 that you can run, and using the advancements like VLLM and things like that has optimized the performance of running those models locally. We do also support that as well. Although we cannot guarantee the performance of it, we do have certain recommendation in terms of what's the best way to run it. But other than that, that part is not guaranteed when you choose to run everything locally. And then at the end, we really working on the next level. We are really going further, and we are really working on fine-tuning our own model that are really specific for troubleshooting, for specific troubleshooting, such as like Kubernetes, such as Node.js. So really stack specific models that we also offer, and that's something that we are working on and hoping to provide you by end of this year, once that's completely completed. And if everything is so clear, I just want to talk about the security and the end. So really, in terms of the data, making sure that data is safe in transit, we really offer encryption over transit. We provide MTLS. It's an enhanced security, so we do ask both on the client side and both on the server side to make sure that the certificate is the same. So we do authenticate and authorize via that. We do also provide encryption at rest for embedded data. So if you choose to, so basically when you're setting up your agent and you're setting up your AIOps agent, you can either choose to persist the logs, so you can keep the logs. You might choose to keep the logs in a different place, either in the Elastic or anywhere else, but we do also offer that. And if you do choose to keep your data and persist your log data, you do all have the option to bring your own key for the encryption, or just have the default key encryption at rest. And for any sort of the login and interactions of the user and admins, we do offer multi-factor authentication. And then most importantly, the AI part, if you're really concerned about your private data going to OpenAI or any other companies or any other models, we do offer ability to run and host private instances of AI models with control VPC, so over network, over subnets, so you can choose, and over private links, all those things that we can offer to be able for you to run your model in your own protected way, mostly for organizations that they have regulations over privacy and protection of personal and confidential data. So we really try to really think about security at the really to the core, and that's something that we really care about importantly. And mostly talking about integration, so we do not offer log collections or any sort of things like that. We really think about that most organizations, they already have tools to collect and export metrics and data of their infrastructure. Most organizations, they also have, usually they install some sort of a log forwarder or things like that. And so we do offer integration with those log forwarders. So if an organization uses a FluentBit, Logstash, even OpenShift cluster log forwarder, or many other ones that do support TCP or HTTP or OpenTelemetry protocols, we are capable of integrating with them. And most importantly, OpenTelemetry, because it's something that it's been really around for a couple of years now, and it's becoming very popular and famous this year. And obviously we do also provide integration with Prometheus alert managers, so all your existing tools that you already have. And for notification part, right now we do offer integration with Twilio, PagerDuty, but we're also looking for any other clients that want to integrate with their own notification system. We're also looking at that. And then for knowledge base, right now we do offer integration with Jira and Confluence as default for that. So yeah, really just to break it down at the end, Seraph Guardian is really the simple piece of software that you can install on your infrastructure alongside your applications, or even close to your IoT devices, and then process logs on a live basis, on a batch basis, and take decisions and even modify code if it has to, and submit those modifications to your code repository if it needs to. So it really manages the whole life cycle of the process. So detecting the issue, alerting on it, notifying you that there is an issue, categorizing it, kind of going deep and doing a root cause analysis on it based on the context that it has, and then at the end take actions, whether it's opening a ticket, calling, setting up the Teams meeting, or things like that, or modifying code in that some case that I will show it to you. In that case, it automates all these processes. And then, so if you like the product today, and if you want to use the product, and if you want to become our first users, we handle all complete installation and system integration at no cost to you. So we come to your organizations, we install it for you, we do consult on how to integrate with your different systems. So we do all the setup for you. And then in terms of a pricing, it's really straightforward. You pay a fixed yearly license just to be able to have the product, and then you pay for what you pay is really just for what you store. So if you're really having a lot of log storage, and you're using an expensive AI model, then you pay for that. We do have recommendations on how to manage those costs, what's the best way, and what's the cheapest way to run it. We do offer that, and then so we have different plans that we offer to you. We do not want to cause you a huge cost, but we do believe in a return on investment, where if you had to go out and hire a full-time DevOps engineer that gets up in the middle of the night, support that, it will be very expensive, or you're going to have to offshore that to a different company where that has its own other challenges that we will not get into that in that session. So we really think Seraph is our really a good solution, and it's the future, because we really think the vision and the future is going to be automated. There is not going to be a DevOps engineer, hopefully, having to the burden to wake up or manage those logs on their own. And hopefully there is going to be an AI agent that's going to be next to them and helping them in that process, and mostly automating most of the things. So if you want to learn more, please go to inventive.org/Seraph just to learn more. The information page is going to be up tomorrow. And then if you want to learn more, and if you want to connect directly to me, just call us at 343-633-3824. It's a free call. And then once you call, you're going to be able to dial and directly connect to myself through that phone number. And if you want to learn more about what's going on latest news, latest products that we have, please visit us on LinkedIn and visit us on YouTube for more tutorials and things such as that. So I really appreciate you enjoying that call. I will try to show you a demo now based on what we have. So let me please give me a moment. So I'm going to try to run this again. My apology for the delay. Let me just open up the code. Perfect. Excellent. All right. So I'm going to show you to everything through the command line, but I'm also going to show you the initial UI that we also have as well. Perfect. UI. So as you can see, I'm running everything locally. My apology for the technical demo. Perfect. All right. So just to show you, so I installed basically Seraph on my local machine, and I'm running it on my local machine right now. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to make a postman call. So instead of making streaming logs or anything such as that, I'm going to simply make a simple API call and send the error message and see how the agent is going to react. It's a very simple use case. We're not talking about streaming 1,000 lines of code to this in this demo, but I'm hoping to show you a demo, set up official demo on all capabilities of the Seraph, on how it's going to be able to handle different multiple processes. Mostly understanding that Seraph is async and runs everything asynchronously. It's an API endpoint, so based on the usage that you have, you might be able to call 1,000 times that API endpoints. If you encounter thousands of errors, which is rare, but if you get many different errors at the same time, Seraph is gonna be able to set up processes and start taking action on each of those. So as you can see, I'm running on my local machine, on my local computer, so it's listening. Right now the agent is listening on the /logs endpoint. This is the first agent that I have set up, and then if I send the log messages, the error message to the AI agent, now it's taking action. So if I look at the way that the AI is thinking, is actually going through the whole process. So what it's doing is right now is really doing a root cause analysis, is trying to find it. It does store the events, so is also storing every process that it's everything that it's doing. Is trying to find exactly where the process goes, where the error message comes from. So in this case, I've sent the error message saying that there is an insufficient memory request for the HA proxy, and in this case, is trying to find the piece of the infrastructure. If you're running your infrastructure as code, so if you're managing everything as code, then it's going to be able to manage it. So right now it's looking for it and it's trying to make modifications and starting basically a pull request on the test Git repository account that we have. So as you can see, it says I have updated the code to address the insufficient memory issue. Now I will create a branch for the changes. So it's really, you can look at how the everything is thinking, and is really finding where the path is, where is the file path comes from, where everything is, and it's gonna make the modifications once it's figure out where the problem comes from. And just to show you that there was an initial step that was skipped at the beginning, where you can see that I have a test repository, and in that test repository I have different, I have in this case I have a Java, but I do also have a test Terraform. If I can find that one, I do have a repository for Terraform. So you either you have one repository where you have like all of the repositories Terraform, where you have a repository where all the code is Java, or you have different stacks in one single repository. Seraph will be able to handle it. So we'll be able to browse through all your repository code and be able to find the exact piece of code that's responsible for it. Perfect. And so it's right now, it says it updated the code, and it's in the process of updating the I believe yeah. So as I show it to you, I can see that AI agent was able to. So if I show it to you, here is my repository. It's very simple. I have one file in it called HA proxy, and then I have just a sample Terraform file that basically runs a HA proxy, and it has a CPU, it has the memory, so you have all those specifications in that Terraform file. So I think the AI agent right now is struggling due to the bad credentials. Is probably my token that's expired, but previously it did actually created a pull request, and that's what's interesting about that pull request that it created. It was that it does provide you with the title, the documentation, you know, how did it solve the problem, and as you can see there is the file changed, and you can see what exactly was changed in that file for that piece of code that was responsible for. And then through that you can throughout your CI/CD you can choose to merge this pull request, or you can ask for additional reviews, and in some cases we can even assign that review from Seraph. Yeah, so this was really the demo, just to be able to show you how it goes from all the way from detecting the issue as soon as I send it, the error message, recognizing what's the issue is, figure out what the problem is, and then trying to do a root cause analysis, and then later on updating the code, and then submit that code to the code repository as we observed in the earlier basis. I also want to show you the initial UI that we are working on. It's a basic dashboard what we are trying to build. In your case, you will be able to see your different agents, you know, all the agents are responsible, whether in this case, let's say we are talking about Kubernetes infrastructure managed with the Terraform. You can see where your region is, what are the latest activities. You can kind of also get total a little bit more information about where the total events are, your code completion, your token used, and things such as that. Just going to make sure that there is the actual server running. Yeah, so I'm running the Seraph server. So Seraph server is going to be responsible for you know, going through all the events, managing basically all the information. As you can see, I've been running multiple different tests, but you can see some of the reports that was generated by that agent. So you can see the latest report says the event was created for insufficient memory error in HA proxy. I analyzed the error, identified that the insufficient memory issue was due to the present request memory extended memory, searched for the code and found the relevant sections in the HA proxy, updated the code, created a branch, opened the pull request, and completed all the tasks and saved the report in the database. In the other examples, we can see created, you know, an event for the error liveness probe failed, analyze the error, you know, common causes, search for the code, identify the relevant code snippet related to the machine type configuration, updated the code section to ensure proper machine type assignment, although it does not directly address the liveness probe issue. So it does actually very smart and does provide you with those reports. You can also see, look at the events. So those are the events that was generated, you know, so the latest event that we generated was the insufficient memory error in HA proxy. You can also see that. And then, so yeah, here's all the, basically the tests we were running. And then in the steps, you kind of you can look at basically the same things that we've been watching on the screen, here. You can also look at all the steps that was taken. In that case, it was steps that were taken here. So it does keep the event. So based on each event, it keeps all the logs here as well. On the left side, where you have all the agents set up, you have the system prompts that you can set up, you have the statistics, you have the notification sections where you can set up your PagerDuty integrations and things like that. And then the model settings, where you can actually set your model configurations and which model do you want to use and things such as that. And in your Git repo setup, you can use that to set up your GitHub repository and things like that as well. And at the end, and then there's also there's also the CLI, and then CLI is the one we use. And then so yeah, if you do help, it will provide you with the different commands that you can use. So same things that we saw. So you can actually say, let's say reports, and you can say yeah, so you would say get all reports. Yeah. Yeah. So with that, this is really what I wanted to show today. So Seraph Guardian, I hope you really enjoyed the this live session. And if you really want to connect to me, please reach out to me directly on LinkedIn or other pages, um, and we can talk about how this AI agent is going to be able to help you in future and how everything is going to be automated in future as well. So please feel free to reach out to us. And if you have any other questions, please uh, make sure that you send us an email or feedback about what you saw today. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And I know not everything was perfect on this live session, but I'm hoping to do more live sessions and more explanation and more hands-on integration with different tools from Seraph. So with that, I really appreciate you joining this call, and I wish you a good night and